What is up, YouTube? It's been a while since I've posted a tier list video. This time it's PvP passives. Some units are higher on the list because of not just their passive, but because it's actually usable in the current meta. And I won't really talk in too much detail, but for example, in the C tier is units that have more of a over time kind of passive, so it's not going to be good for PvP. B tier is units which have a passive that can do something, but basically you're never going to see it in PvP. We're talking about the passive. In A tier, it's a bit better passives, but the actual units can't really do well enough to utilize their passives. In S tier, it's units who have like something that is useful, but will still never be used. S tier is the units which have a passive that has potential. You most probably won't see it in arena, but like maybe at lower tier arena where people don't have the best units, you might see some of these. For example, Heavenly Warlord, even though he's very well utilized, his passive isn't that insane, but I just put him in SS tier because together with his E, he can do it. Like, it's really hard to make a completely unbiased tier list on one specific subject. For the triple S tier, I think most people would agree. Pulverbox passive is just insane. Lady's passive is perfect for tanks. Being able to thwart an enemy. Like, people do teams that play around thwart specifically because of units like KD and such. But if that wasn't a thing, then normal A-Razio would be insane. Endorsi, we don't really need to talk about it. It's debuff immunity for light units and a huge buff. GKZ, everybody knows the insane passive, especially mixed in with her EE. Quarion, just the ability to not die for one attack, makes her extremely viable for arena. PGA, the healing is insane for tanks. These are just the immortalities, passives, stealing away the buffs, being able to revive people on the next round if you can make him survive is insane. Removing a debuff is also really good. Mash Lime passive, I think everybody knows why it's here. Mujin, just the damage immunity at the start for one turn is pretty insane. And let's not forget he even has more to that passive. It doesn't really get that much utilized, but it's still a thing. The attack buff from the shield is pretty good, although most people use her with full tank teams, so it doesn't really work that well, but still the passive is quite good. Constant, just an insane PvP passive, being able to remove a buff, and I forgot what else it was doing, but it's quite insane. These the immortality again. Sujin rank, just being able to remove the buffs from herself, like having a tan. Being able to become immortal. Not immortal, damage immune. And Q is the one with immortal, and also he has the extra of having a reflect. If only the reflect wasn't like reducible by one turn, like from Mash Lime, Q would be a lot more viable. Being able to survive any shot, like taking only 50% damage in a hit, is insane, which also puts the KDK in this tier. I'm sorry, but the newest 2 or 3 units aren't in this list because the tier list hasn't been updated, or at least if it is, I don't have a copy. I'm sorry about that. Vendo, the immortality. Sujin, obviously the taunting. Sadly, from the nerf, it's not as overpowered as before, but still quite an amazing passive for arena. These two are the only ones that most people would disagree on, but I really feel that if you build the right team around it, you can utilize them properly. Same for Elaine, but her a bit less because it's debuffs related, and this is more related to both enemy or your team getting killed. So if you're doing a manual kind of thing, it's like these two are good for manual PvP, their passives. Well, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed, and Maybe I'll make a PvE one on, again, the passives. Hope you enjoy. See ya.